Hey there, everybody. It's Athers Beer Stand back here with some more Steve's Factory Manager tutorials. We have been letting this system run for a bit, and we've run into some issues. For one, it keeps dumping extra fertilizer in this chest, which is going to be a problem eventually. So what it's doing is, when this gets down a little ways, well, it's waiting for, oh, we're out of rotten flesh. That would be why. It was waiting for materials, and then it would craft. Well, that's not even the right thing. I'm sorry. What is it waiting for? Oh, it's waiting for ash. It's not going to get any ash because these engines aren't running. Part of that is what we're going to address today. So anyway, the problem is that it was waiting until there were 63 fertilizer in here and then crafting so it could put one in and dump the rest in here. So let's first, what does any of this mean? I don't understand it anymore. It's been sitting here for a couple of days, and I don't know what we did. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Is this our dirt crafter? Let's see. Yeah, okay, so this is going to craft dirt. Now let's take advantage of a handy feature. Let's say dirt crafting. Oops. There we go. Save? Yeah. Dirt crafting. Ooh, whoops. Again with the exiting out. So that kind of helps, but it really doesn't clean things up as much as I would hope. So I think somewhere over here there's such a thing as a command group. Where is it? Where is it? I'm sorry. I thought I was ready to do this. I think that's it. Group. So, content. Drop commands here to put them into this group, or click to open the group. There we go. See? How do we get out of here? Oops. No. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not what I meant to do. Oh, here we go. Close group. Okay. So that gives us a whole new workspace to work with, right? So I think what we're going to need is a new trigger to drag in here. And then we're going to break this guy loose. Oops. And let's make this that's not what I was looking for. Let's make another flow control. And we'll turn this into a split, a two-way split. Oops. Alright. Oh, do we have to do... Okay, first we have to drop them in there like so. And then we'll do this. Hello. Ruh-roh. Okay. So, click to open group. Let's get all this stuff. Let's get all this stuff laid back out real quick. Where? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so these guys ended up not inside of it for some reason. There we go. There we go. Okay, so from here to there, and from there to there, and from there to there, and from here to here. Right? That's one side of it. Give me just 1 second, you guys. I gotta deal with real life for just a moment. Okay, sorry about that, guys, but you know, real life is real life and all that good stuff. So, now that we've got that set up, let's drag. Is it gonna go? No. There we go. For some reason it's a little bit stubborn, but it's working. Okay, so now let's take these guys and unfold them. And let's name this one fertilizer crafting. Yep. Bing. That way, hate that. I hate it. That way we kind of have, oops, we kind of have a little bit of an idea what everything is when we look at it. Now, one other problem that we had is that one of the things we're going to do today is teach the Steve's factory manager how to keep this guy supplied with bog earth, which needs to occupy these slots here with the dirt. But as you can see, it's filling this up with dirt, and we don't want that. So what we want to do is go to this output, our dirt output. See, it's targeting, we can turn that off. We don't need the upside. What we want to do is whitelist dirt. Oh, no, need a cursor in there. Dirt. Yes, and then we want to right click on that, and we want to specify an amount of 64. Okay, so now if we go out here, well, it won't do anything, I don't think, because it can't craft any dirt because it's out of the rotten flesh. Unfortunately, we're going to have to go get some rotten flesh in order to test that out. I will do that. I want to make sure that we're at a good place where we can cut and do everything that we have to cut for at once, rather than try to do it in several takes. Now, the other thing that I want to do, and we're kind of running out of space here without making another, we're going to have to put a barrel there. I want to automate this thing to make us charcoal, because that's the whole point of this tree farm, is to make power. So the peat is enough to power itself and the one other farm that I have set up, and then we want to channel the rest of this wood into the furnace. So now let's exit out of here, and okay, that's our group, so we're going to leave that alone for now. Let's grab us an input and an output. And I'm not actually sure. I have not set this up in a creative play or really sat and thought about it a whole lot. So we're going to learn this together. How do we do this? Our input is going to be, where are you? Apatite, sand, oak wood. There we go. Oh, because it's the closest one. One cable away, one block away. Okay, so that's our input. Target is down, that's good. Items is an empty blacklist because it's only going to be able to pull the one thing. Input, and then output. Our output is going to go to the furnace, and the target is going to be the top. That's good. And we don't need to put anything there, so that's also good. And then what do we need to work out some kind of charcoal. We don't have any charcoal in the system actually, so let's grab a stack of this, and we're going to start this cooking. We'll just throw some wood in there, and it'll sit there as an output. And once we get a few of those cooked up, oh no, it's not charcoal, then we can take that, actually we can leave one more of those in there. That should cook us 3 charcoal, and then we can go and worry about where we're going to put it. So now we need another input that is going to grab from the furnace, and it is going to grab from the bottom of the furnace. Very good. And empty blacklist for items is okay. And now we're going to need an output, and we are going to output right back into this furnace, and the target is going to be any side that is not the top or bottom, is the fuel side for the furnace. So insert Oh, hate that. Target, items, yeah, empty blacklist. We don't need to worry about that. Dang it. So we can connect that, and we can connect that. Now what happens with our extra charcoal? Our extra charcoal needs to go to a second output, because we're going to have more charcoal than can fit in that furnace. So let's go here, and we're going to choose a barrel that we have not yet put down. So that's the barrel. Inventory is probably going to be this one. Empty, yes. Target shouldn't matter, and the whitelist shouldn't matter. That should then populate. Oh, if we hook up our trigger. Let's hang on a second.
It was just the last one that I put in the store. I just wanted you to
Let's check this one first. And if we let's look at our furnace. We take this out. Oh, there it goes. See, it's already got that one down. So it's pulling from our barrel, and it's putting wood in there. That's great. So we've checked that. And now if we hook this one up, it should pull the charcoal out of the side of it. No. 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 That's bad. What's going on there? Let's break this connection first. There we go. Where did the charcoal go? Did it go in the barrel? It did. So, what is happening? We need to apparently whitelist some items, because it's, if we do an output or input items whitelist, come on, charcoal, and then that should do it, I think. Let's reconnect this and see where we're at. No. No. Why is it putting stuff in the furnace? That is most disappointing. So output, why? Why? Input, inventory is furnace. It must be taking stacks of wood out of the furnace. So, how? Why? Did we not just whitelist this? This is a little bit frustrating. Not an anticipated problem. Target north. Furnace. Items. Okay, let's try this. No. Charcoal. Whitelist. Okay, now let us try to do this again. No. Okay, well, it's not putting wood in anyway, but it's also not putting in charcoal. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yes. Excellent. Now that's going to burn for a good long time, and it should now fill the furnace up with charcoal. So, a little bit of an unforeseen problem. Apparently, even though normally you cannot extract from this slot from any side, I don't think. You can only insert. Steve's factory manager apparently can see that and pull stuff out of it. So, something to know. Sometimes the versatility of a thing. Oh, hello! That's very rude. Just to come in when somebody's trying to film a video. It's even daytime. What in the world? Okay, so our next course of action, our next order of business is, we got the fertilizer overflow to deal with. So what we're going to do here, I believe this is our, oh no, fertilizer was in the group. Okay, so let's click here. Now, fertilizer crafting and output. This is the chain that we need to deal with. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a condition. And we're going to say target. The target is going to be... Where's our... Okay, farm hatch. The target's going to be the farm hatch. I mean the inventory rather. The target I don't think matters, but because it takes fertilizer from the north side, we're going to activate the north side because that may be what it checks to see how much fertilizer is in there. Could be important. Okay, requires all or if any are two questions that we can ask, but what we want to do is we want to look for fertilizer. And we want to right click on that and say specify an amount. Let's say, not 165, let's say 16. I believe it will only, when the number of fertilizer hits exactly 16, it should activate this. Okay? I'm not sure if there's a way to do a less than or more than. I'm not seeing it here. So we'll just have to do this for the time being. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, then oh well. So what we want to do is break that and put it here. And then this is the condition if true. And if the condition if false is just going to do nothing. It's not going to... But you know what? You know... Here is a thing that we could do too. Let's get a little bit crazy while we're doing this and make a second condition. And there might be a way to do this faster with just the one condition, but if this is true, then let's look in the chest. Target is any side is good. If any requires all. If we're only doing one, it doesn't really matter. So fertilizer. So if there's any fertilizer in the chest, what would happen is if there was like fertilizer or wood or blah blah, requires all would be sufficient for this task. Then what we want to do is create a second input and output. Oops. Hello. So if this is true, then we want to look in the chest. And items are going to be fertilizer, which we need to whitelist, not blacklist. That would be the wrong thing to do. And then we want to output to the farm hatch, north side. We can deactivate that, and the items can be an empty blacklist. And then then if it's false, if there is no fertilizer in the chest, that's what this is checking for, then and only then are we going to craft it. So that should handle our overflow of fertilizer, our overproduction of fertilizer. So anything that it puts in that chest, it will then use before it moves on to the next operation, which will be crafting some and creating more overflow in the chest. So a little bit more complicated, but not too much. We're just trying to ease our way into this, and I've saved the best for last. The last thing we need to do is teach this system how to make bog earth. So again, we're going to need an input, as usual. And the input, bog earth, let's check our recipe. Earth. So it takes 4 sand, 4 dirt, and a bucket of water or a water can or a water capsule or something with some water in it. Now the bucket of water would be the hardest to deal with, simply because it has to be manually filled and they don't stack. Which for your own inventory purposes is just okay, but for purposes of automation it kind of sucks. And if you look at this, the water can, that's interesting. The water bucket only gives you 6, the can gives you 8. So that's another reason not to go with the bucket. Now, what I would normally do is probably just plunk down a fluid transposer and wire that right into this whole system and automate it. But because this build right here that we're automating is a forestry build, and I don't feel right, frankly, about even having this energy cell here, we're going to avoid that. But forestry doesn't offer any kind of energy storage, so we're cheating just a little bit. It also doesn't offer any kind of real automation, so we're forced to bring in something like Steve's inventory or Steve's factory manager. So what I want to use is these things, wax capsules, and I'm actually not going to automate that portion of it. What I want to do, oh, and it's even raining, which is perfect, because I've got my rain tank up here, which should be collecting this rain and filling these capsules. Not very quickly, but it's happening. So let's grab the 3 of those, and we've got some sand down there, and I think I've got an inventory full of dirt. So we should be able to test this out. This is the thing that's keeping this whole system from making power, but I really wanted to get it all on video. So we're going to put these guys for the time being in the chest, and I may have to add some more barrels or do something fancy down here to accommodate all this. Some of these barrels will actually be going away because, like I said before, we'll begin to just pull things directly from the farm rather than store them in barrels, especially things like sand, which we're not going to have a lot of sand. Let's put our dirt in here too for the time being. So our input is going to target the chest and the sand barrel. Sides are irrelevant because it's chests and barrels. Items, we need sand. We need dirt. And we need water capsule. So then for the numbers, okay, this is a whitelist. Numbers, specify amount. We'll go 4 sand, right? Specify amount. No, not clicking. 4 dirt. Specify amount, 1 water capsule. Dang it. This is the lesson for me, is to stop hitting escape. The problem I have is that, like, then you get into other mods where the only way out is to hit escape. You can't escape with your E key.
Pretty
So
girl.
yeah. Crafting.
You see that, Mama? Look.
This is going to be
Pretty Mama.
dirt.
You see that, pretty girl?
Dirt, like so.
Pretty girl.
Sand, caps lock, no good, but the game doesn't care. Sand. Water, capsule. Okay, excess inventories.
First
We'll
they're
just
addicting me to it.
we'll do
Then
that
they're
in the
taking
chest.
me away from me. What kind of sick game is this?
Okay, and then we need an output, which is going to be the farm hatch, and we need to output to the top, so that's already set, and our blacklist is irrelevant because we've only got the output of the crafter. So oh, and I think we need to go in here and change the priority. Move before crafting. And that should get us some, yes, there we go, bog earth. Now why is it making all this dirt? What's going on there? Oh, because it's taking the dirt from here, probably?
Snapchat
Yeah,
is
it's just
looking at
moving
my
the dirt
snaps
from the
everybody
chest into here.
until they meet my
I don't know why
demands.
that is.
I'm guessing.
I don't know why that is. Let's see if we can't figure that out. Maybe we need to output. Oh yes, because we've got this. We've got an input that's coming from the chest, but items, isn't that whitelisted? Oh, because okay, see, so it's taking dirt. Yes, okay. So what we need to do then is whitelist bog earth, and then we should be good. We can put all this dirt back in the chest and it won't get pulled out.
Hey, look, we're twins.
Except
Hey, look, we're twins.
craft bog earth now. Okay, it's not still pulling, so that was my question. So there we go. We've got it set to create bog earth and the dirt. The capsules I'm just going to continue to insert by hand because that's kind of the mode of forestry. Maybe at some point we'll move some rain tanks over here so that process can be automated as well, but it will not include Steve's Factory Manager.
I have not
So
seen that.
I believe that's everything that we wanted to do today, and that concludes episode 2 of Steve's Factory Manager tutorials. Next, I may make some tweaks and changes to this, but I don't plan to shoot a third video. I may stop by and highlight any changes that I've made, like as a precursor in the next video, but I believe from here we will be moving on to some other forestry processes, namely creating biomass and or biofuel, not necessarily all at once, but we're gonna get there. So you guys, make sure you leave a like, because this is a lot of work and I like to know that it's being appreciated. Maybe think about subscribing if you're finding this information useful or helpful in any way. What just hit us? What did I just get hit by? Oh, well, anyway, and of course, as always, have a nice day, guys.
The snaps have been released.